Placer de dar la bienvenida al señor primer ministro de la República Islámica de Pakistán, a quien invito a dirigirse a la Asamblea General.
I have great pleasure in welcoming His Excellency.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Mr. President,
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul ya ibadiyallazina asrafu. Qul ya ibadiyallazina asrafu. La taqnutu min ar-rahmatillahi. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhanuban jamia. Mr. President, Excellencies,
I feel honored today to represent my country at this forum of world leaders.
As I stand here today to tell the story of my country, Pakistan,
I want to talk about a lot of problems, but just 4 today. So first of all, I start with climate change.
I have come to explain firsthand the scale and magnitude of this climate catastrophe.
Our country is amongst the top 10 nations in the world which are most affected by climate change.
That has pushed 1/3 of my country underwater in a superstorm.
And these glaciers are melting at quite a rapid pace. We detected already 5,000 glacial lakes in our mountains. We are scared that humans are facing a huge catastrophe.
More than 13,000 kilometers of metal roads have been damaged. Over 370 bridges have been swept away.
So many leaders have talked about climate change. Perhaps world leaders some of the leaders who can do a lot, do not realize the urgency of the situation.
At this ferocious speed, it is time to ask why, and time to ask not what can be done, but what must be done.
And 80% of the water in our rivers comes from our glaciers. The glaciers not just on the Pakistani side, even India.
The undeniable truth is that this calamity has not been triggered by anything we have done. Our glaciers are melting fast.
My second issue for me right now is even more critical. Mr. President, every year, billions of dollars leave the poorer countries and go towards rich countries.
Our social security program, the Benazir income support program, 70 billion rupees, or almost $300 million from our own pocket we are spending on this program.
Money laundering, which happens because money leaves the poorer countries into rich countries, is not treated the same. Properties in Western capitals bought by this money through corruption and money laundering. My third point is Islamophobia. Muslim women wearing hijab, it's become an issue. A woman can take off her clothes in countries, but she can't put on more clothes. There is only one Islam, and that is the Islam we follow of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no other Islam.
Of Islamophobia, hijab bans, attacks on mosques.
The number 4th point, Mr. President, and this is the most critical point, is the reason why I especially came here. It is about what is happening in Kashmir. When we came to power, my first priority was that Pakistan would be a country which will try its best to bring peace.
We look for peace with all our neighbors, including India. Sustainable peace and stability in South Asia.
70,000 people killed in a war we had nothing to do with. No Pakistani was involved in 9/11. A jet, 2 of their planes were shot down, 1 pilot bailed out in Pakistan. We immediately returned the pilot.
India must take credible steps to create enabling environment for constructive engagement. We are neighbors.
And it's arrogance that makes people make mistakes and do stupid things. Cruel things like what Narendra Modi has done.
India is seeking to turn the Muslim majority Jammu and Kashmir into a Hindu territory.
2 nuclear-armed countries will come face to face like we came in February. And before we head in that direction, the United Nations has a responsibility. This is why the United Nations came into being in 1945.
Mr. President, the Security Council and the General Assembly must be empowered to play their respective roles under the UN Charter.
My belief is, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but one. And we will fight. And when a nuclear-armed country fights to the end, it will have consequences far beyond the borders.
We must restore peace in Europe, avoid a war in Asia, and resolve festering conflicts across the world.
And I've come here to tell the UN, you've got to, this is a test for the United Nations. You are the one who guaranteed the people of Kashmir the right of self-determination.
We must revive the vision which created the United Nations, a vision which is often blurred by national interest and hegemonic designs.
And this is the time. This is the time not to appease like in 1939 appeasement took place. This is the time to take action. The world community must give the people of Kashmir the right of self-determination. Thank you.
Global peace and promote universal prosperity. I thank you.